Hi all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bog. In this video I'm going to be showcasing a series of models that Hot Wheels produced in the early 2000s, roughly around 2004 into 2005, and I think some of them were produced into 2006. Some of them are found still, but others aren't. They either discontinued them or they just didn't sell really well. Here's just a small example of what was out there in those years. For the 2005 first edition series, it's the drop tops. 2004, they call these ones the fatbacks, which is the ones you see here. It's with the big honking tires. There's a large series of them. I think there's 10 in total. There might be less, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really find all of them. These ones were all packed away for the longest time. I decided to. I wasn't really too interested at them at the time, but now that I'm revisiting and getting older, I kind of appreciate some of these older, quirkier releases that Hot Wheels has done. This one here is a 2004 release, and it's the Hard Nose series, which is big front end, large tire in the front, tiny tire in the back. They also did a few other series, and I'll just show you a couple quick examples. This one here is a series called the Bling series, and I have two examples of these, and the other one is the Dairy Delivery in the Bling series. So you could see kind of what they were going for. I will be opening up all of these except for one series. I won't, because I want to try to find the last three that I'm missing out of that series and present it all in one solid video. And the other series that they had was the torpedoes, which were very slim type of models that open wheeled, and they were really cool, but very thin. So hopefully I'll be able to find the other three that I am missing and present them all together. So I won't be showing these ones at all in this video, but I will be showing the other series that I do have. You've already seen these ones I've done in Spotlight series, so you could see the idea behind them all, which was the as a fatbacks is got a big fat arse on it with very large tires. I can only assume horrendously useless on any track except for maybe a wide one, but even so, they would probably be so badly unbalanced that I don't even know if they would at all turn. So these are the three I do have, which is the B Machine, I think, if I remember correctly here. Let's call this one the B Machine. Then there was a Supra, and then you got a fatback silhouette, which is this one here. I will be presenting them after this quick little display here. I will be putting them on the turntable, letting them spin, and showing them all off in their glory. In the original series of the drop tops, this one here is called the Low Carbs, and you could see the series that they did release is Realistics, Drop Tops, Torpedoes, X-Racers, Track Aces, and Blings, but they also released a few other ones. This is one example I do have from that drop top series, and the other one that I did have is the Curbside, which is this neat kind of a yellow looking pickup truck. So these are two that I do have from this series. I will try to find more when I do, and then I'll kind of present them in a Spotlight kind of show. Now these ones, as they call them, the hard nose. This one is the twin mill hard nose. So you could see the idea that they were going for, which is a very large front end. I didn't really find them particularly fascinating at the time, but now I kind of do. It kind of shows off slightly different on what they were attempting to go for. I do have also, from the first 2004 first editions of it, is they call it the Grand Illusion. So you could see how kind of a really funky it is. So that's kind of neat. Then you have this Cadillac V16 concept. So you get the general idea of what they were going for, which is, you know, big bulbous front end and then just swooping down. You know, they're kind of, they're really cool for what they are. Very unappreciated for when they did come out. A lot of collectors didn't like these or didn't bother collecting them. But as I said, I did have a few examples of these, so that's why I kind of have it. Now they also have done in the first 2004 first editions releases of these is a Dodge Neon in the, you know, typical Dodge Neon colors. So that was kind of really cool when they did come out. Now this one was re-released in 2000 and just give me 1 second here. I put my 2005 under a sub series called Asphalt Jungle. So this Neon was re-released again in the sub series, and this one is 3 of 5 for the Asphalt Jungle. So you could see that they did re-release them again, but under a different kind of series. So that's kind of a neat that they have done these. And of course then they also released the blings. I don't have too many of them. I never really found them fascinating, and I sort of kind of still don't. So out of all the other models I have, I don't think I'll be collecting any more of these blings, but never say never, I guess. So you got the Tobacco Woods out of this bling series, which is kind of awesome. You know, it shows that this one is 8 of 10, and this is the 2005 first edition versions of the bling. So they did continue this series on to a few years, and the other one is 2004 first editions of the Dairy Delivery, which I think 57 Fordman will probably like. William, and I'm sure he's already got this one, but this one is kind of a neat one. I'll open these up towards the end, so I won't bother with them now, but you could see the idea of what they were doing, kind of a weird fantasy castings, but really exaggerated effects, either very large rears, very large fronts, or you know, flattened, which they call the drop top series. So that's kind of a neat idea of what they've done. So what I'll do is I'll reposition everything, put my turntable or the grinder on full speed, and we'll take a look at them individually while they spin. So as you can see, here's the idea of what they were going for, which is in this Fatback series, which is the large rear end jacked up with these huge meats in the back. And this one is the forgive me, I think it's called the B machine. In this series, I'm gonna just kind of hopefully it'll focus quickly. You can see which ones they had coming out in that one, which is a Silhouette, Plymouth Barracuda, Shelby, and you can see some of them here on what they look like. That's the Cobra, that's like Barracuda. They had the Celica Supra, Exhausted, Mustang, Jackrabbit Special, C8 Vet, and the B Machine, which is in front of you. So I'm gonna attempt to eventually, if I do, I will find them and present them when I do. If you guys do find these out in the wild or at a show, I would suggest, if you want to try something different, these are the way to go. They are really cool. So this next one here is out of the Fatback series, is the SUPRA. So you could see again what they were going for. It is metal bodies, metal bases, but they, I think, are a wonderful model. So it was really cool that they produce such things. Now that I do find them quite fascinating now at an older age than I did when they first came out. Now this one is called, the next one here is the Silhouette in the Fastbacks version, and I think it's just a awesome kind of a model. So you could see the idea behind it. Those of us who will remember the original Silhouette, will find this one kind of amusing. But they did do a very, very cool job of it. So beautiful color, again, metal body, metal base, large rear tires, tiny small ones, engine poking out. So it's there. It's a really neat series. And I hope, like I said, I hope to find more of them. We'll go with the drop tops next, which is the two examples I do have, and we'll see how those ones are. So the next ones we'll focus on are from the series called Drop Tops. These are first editions. This one here is a 2014, sorry, not 2014. 2004 first edition from that series, and you can see the idea of what they were going for, which is pretty much like a very squished vehicle, very exaggerated fenders, very low roof line, and it's it's an interesting series that they did bring out. So there are 10 in this series. This one is number 3 of 10. So that's kind of a wild kind of a model that they did bring out. I'm going to try to see on the packaging. They didn't really show, like on some of the other ones, what releases they were, like how many was in that release, but you could see the idea of what they were going for. So again, this one is called the Curbside. And the next one from that series is 2005 first editions. So this series did carry into 2005, and this one is number 4 of 10. And it is call it the low carbs. So again, you could see the idea of what they were going for, which is like a very, very flattened vehicle, exaggerated fenders. I remember seeing a lot more of them than I did, but I think this line kind of really didn't do much for me, so I didn't do anything with it or continue any further than these. But I will try to find more in the future if I can, so we'll leave this one here as it is. We'll take a look at the blings next. So this is the dairy delivery from the 2004 first editions of the bling series, and you could see the idea of what they were going for with these models, which is a nice flat top, but it's all blinged out. Everybody knows what the idea behind blings are. So these are pretty cool, and again, it's almost like these would be in the Toon series nowadays. Over exaggerated everything, big fat wide bodies, huge tires, slap down roof. So it's kind of an interesting series that I was really not too interested in, and I don't think I probably will get again. So if you know, if these are the kind you like, you think they're really neat, look for them. They are quite nice. Most of them have plastic bases, metal bodies with other metal bits in this one. This one here is a metal body, metal base, and it is quite weighty. But it is a little bit wide. I don't know how well something like this would do on a track if you decided to race it. But it is quite a nice model. The next one is called a block of wood. So you know the idea what they're going with this one, which is like a woody wagon with the large exaggerated tires, you know, nice short chubby little thing. And this one is 2005 first editions, and this one's number 8 of 10. In the other one, let's see, what did I do with it? They didn't really give a sub edition of this one. This one is just 12 of 100, so I guess in that year they released 100 models. But you could see the idea of what they were going for with these. You know, a strange little series, but blinged out was pretty cool. So I'll leave it with these two, and the next ones we'll go with is the hard nose. So this one here is the Grand Illusion from the hard nose series, 2004 first editions, and this one is number 17 of 100. So there was quite a lot of models released in that year, but I'm not sure how much was in this subset for the hard nose. They seem to have quite a few different ones, but we could see, let's see if it'll focus quick enough so it won't be too distracting. There we go. So they had a Too Cool, a Cadillac, the Dodge Neon, a 49 Merc, Twin Mill, Chevy, a 59 Batmobile, a Monte Carlo, and the Grand Illusion that's in front of us now. So you can kind of see sort of what they had. They also had a Toyota Celica, which isn't mentioned here, so that could be, again, not all the models that they had, but the vast majority of them. So the idea behind this series, when they did do it, is to give it that cartoonish swoop look. You know, the huge front end all lifted up with these very large tires. You know, it's a series I did find kind of fascinating, but at the same time not really. So that's why I hadn't picked up as many as I would like. You know, if I do find more of them, I will for sure pick them up, because I think they are quite nice models. So the next one in that series is the Cadillac V16 concept, and it's number 47 out of this out of that year's releases from this hard nose. So we shall take a closer look at the idea behind, or the look of this one, which I think, you know, looks quite fantastic in this series releases. So that's kind of neat that they have produced this one. Like I said before, these series that I am showing in this video might not be for everybody. Those of us who have collected Hot Wheels for a long time and then kind of gotten out of it, like I have, because I've always been into large scale 1/18s, 1/43s. So over time I waned on the Hot Wheels, and a lot of these were put away. It's only in the last maybe 4 years or so that I started rediscovering Hot Wheels and recollecting them. So I've gone through a lot of my storage boxes and pulled a lot of these out. And letting them out to breathe. The next one in this series is going to be a number 20 out of 100 in that year, which is the Twin Mill. Of course, we all know what the Twin Mill is. It's just an all-time classic. And this one just looks insane with these huge engines. You know, beautiful paint job on this one, sorry. And it just looks killer. Can you imagine seeing something like this? Well, granted, you wouldn't be able to see outside the windshield to drive it, but these big honking engines sticking out both sides. So it's really a neat model, and I think it looks really good. Like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying rediscovering and showing these kind of models again. So yeah, I mean that's how they are. The next one we're going to show is the Dodge Neon, and it's number 18 from that year. I have to crack it out of the package, which I didn't do beforehand, so bear with me with all the noise, because I'm so well prepared when I film these things. And that is the Dodge Neon, one of, I would have to say, Dodge's more questionable vehicles from that time. The time period when the Neons came out. I always equated them as the Dodge Neon is the K car of the 2000s, and I'm not gonna really balk at the K car, because I had a K car and a K car wagon, so briefly before they fell apart. But you could see the idea behind this one and how it looks. It's really kind of funky, so I do like this one. And this is its variant from the next year, which is the Asphalt Jungle. So it's a sub-series, and it's number 3 of 5, which is the same Dodge Neon but in a different color, which I think really looks kind of wild. I think it looks better this one than it does the white. So you could see the idea behind it. There's a lot of weird things that Hot Wheels was doing in those early 2000s to about 2008, 2009, and then they kind of stopped making these ones. They've always made fantasy, so that's not the issue, but they've stopped making these ones, and then continued making more kind of realistic looking vehicles. So that is the different series that Hot Wheels did produce from that time, which are the hard nose, you know, the drop tops, the fatbacks, the blings, so you could kind of get the idea of what Hot Wheels was sort of producing of that time, along with, I'll just pan out a little bit here, the torpedo range, which I will feature in a future video once I find the other 3, because you'll enjoy seeing these ones in their full display, I think, in a separate video. So I want to say I thoroughly enjoyed revisiting these models, opening them up and sharing them with you. I hope you enjoyed this video too. I'll end it there. I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.